A very good afternoon, dear students. I am CA Shraddha.
Myself, Nisha.
And we welcome you to this Success at CA Exams BOS Series 2 for Paper 2 Corporate and Other Laws. So we have come again to you guys to help you understand and revise the subject. We will help you through your queries and we will help you navigate through the process of examination.
Yes. कहते हैं खतरों लहरों से अगर कश्ती लहरों से टकराएगी. Please take a note of it. This is a very good lines being said under the movie Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. This is a famous inspirational lines and definitely this give you boost, a full of, you can say, the motivation to move on with your revision part for your examination. So yes, the lines are कश्ती लहरों से टकराएगी तो ही तो किनारे नसीब होंगे, which means if the boat collides with the waves, then only you will reach your destinations. यानी कि आपका समागम तो कहते हैं कि खतरों के साथ है प्लस चैलेंजेस के साथ है लाइफ में जो आप आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. Since you are pursuing the CA, course and you are being through with the various phases of your preparation and of course the various types of the challenges that you're coming across in your studies. So you need to have understanding that yes, you can do it and these are the part of this journey of the chartered accountancy course.
इनफैक्ट अगर हमारे दिल की धड़कनों की लाइन भी सीधी हो जाती है तो दैट मीन्स वी आर नो मोर अलाइव. सो दिस इज द फंडा ऑफ लाइफ.
Yes.
So with this we will start the session. So this is paper 2 corporate and other laws, and the paper is of 100 marks. Like in the I think previous class ma'am must have already apprised you that the paper is divided into not the syllabus. Let's focus on the examination. So the paper is divided into two parts. Part A will deal specifically with the MCQs, and part B, or rather I should say part 1 and part 2, will specifically deal with the descriptive questions. The part 1 will be of 30 marks. The part 1 will be of 30 marks. 100 marks is divided into part 1 will be, just a minute. So 30 marks and 70 marks will be descriptive. So these 30 marks will comprise of MCQs. MCQs can be categorized at two kinds of MCQs. One will be the case scenario MCQs, wherein a case scenario will be given and 4 to 5 questions or 3 to 4 questions will be arising out of those MCQs. Then some of the other MCQs can be independent case scenarios. What do we mean by independent case scenarios? A small case scenario will be there and a single MCQ will be emanating from that MCQ case scenario. This is a compulsory portion. What do we mean by compulsory? By compulsory, we mean that no choice is given for these 30 marks portion. Students, be very aware of one thing, take a note of it, that while you are doing your MCQs, an OMR sheet is provided, which you have to fill, I think with an HP pencil or something. Do read what is given under the instructions as provided by the examination department. If they are telling you to fill it through a pencil
or a pen,
pencil, yes, whichever way the examination department is telling you, kindly follow that only. Do not deviate that in any case, because this OMR sheet is computerized, is checked, I think, on computer.
Yes.
So there is computerized checking for it. In no way, please do not take any chances. And there is one more point that I would like to add on that is what happens is many a times we receive queries or rather mails from the examination, not us, but IC as a whole receives the queries that I have written the answers to MCQs in my normal sheet. They will not be checked in any sense. So you have to definitely attempt it in the OMR sheet or any other mode that the examination department is telling you. Supposedly, if they devise some new method, which you may be knowing, which they will be communicating it to you through the while you will receiving the examination admit card. Up along with that, you have a list of do's and don'ts that you have to follow. So kindly take a note of it. If they are saying anything, follow it to the T. Okay, don't take any deviations from that. Nobody will be in a position to save you at a further point of time if you're deviating from it. So this is a journal instruction, but that is very common because at least few students, we have seen the mails, they say that, ma'am, we have done this, or sir, we have done that, and now we want it to be checked. Nothing can be done at a later. So these is the 30 marks portion, and for this 30 marks portion, it is very easy to score because you do not have to give any kind of reasoning for this portion. Case scenario is given. Out of that, the MCQs are given. Every MCQ is with 4 options, and out of those 4 options, you have to choose the most appropriate option. So, what do we mean by the most appropriate option? The As a student, you can take it as the correct answer. But what happens is sometimes when we are reading the question, um, if we say that private placement, so they are having two queries, sorry, two limits. One is sometimes they in the act they have written 50, and through rules they have prescribed the limit as 200. So if they are giving you the limit of both the things, 50 and 200, so nothing is wrong because one is prescribed in the act and the other is prescribed under the rules. But what is the correct limit? Any guesses?
Maybe 200 because it is the one that is applicable currently.
Yes, yes. So that is the correct limit, 200. You have to read it in context of the, like this is 200. Now, supposedly the case scenario was saying, in the case scenario, they have provided the limit of 150. So now they are giving you the limit of 50, 150 and 200. So in that scene, the correct limit would be 150 or 200. Students answer.
I think if articles and the memorandum of the company limits it to 150, then we'll have to go with 150 because it will be void if we
It
go.
is to be 150. It has nothing to do with the memorandum or the articles because the limit will be provided under, like supposedly only 150 members have applied for it. So the maximum limit in that case would be 150 only because rest of the 50 is still available with the company and nobody has applied for it. Okay, so it has nothing to do with memorandum or articles, right? So in that case, now you have to correlate the facts and the limit data has been provided. Okay. So you have to choose the most appropriate answer. Apart from that, you should not mark two answers like A and B both. If you are confused, then also mark only one answer. If there is any ambiguity, that will be taken care by the institute. So these were some of the major points. Ma'am, would you like to add something to that?
With respect to the MCQ portion, the first thing that needs to be focused on the given question, matlab what exactly the question is asking about. Because what happened, the options that are being framed that actually test your understanding of the concepts. Means if you are somewhere not clear in the understanding of the law, so definitely you will be confused within the provided options over there. And this is what the intent of the paper, checking your, you can say testing is based on. They are testing how much you are clear with the laws, how much you have the understanding, the in-depth understanding. Because when you talk about the nature of the questions, it is an application based. Sometimes certain questions will be just testing your, how the questions can be analyzed within the given situation. So there's an analytical approach that needs to be checked in. So somewhere they give you a situation and then now ask how you will analyze the situations in the light of the relevant provisions. So if you know the relevant provisions, then only you will be able to solve that particular MCQs. Similarly, if it is an application based, somewhere they test your application of the law, okay, how you will apply the law in the given situation, then it may be possible they may be asking some sort of the calculations, because there are various places under the laws where a certain, the period is defined for filing, or with respect to, you can say, with respect to any of the compliance portions. So in that case, you need to you need to have that think how you can apply the law. If something notice is to be served, then with what period it is set, how you will calculate, from which period is to be calculated. So this is the law is to apply, and there it will be definitely given options so near to each other, generally, that students, when they are not clear in the understanding of the that particular provisions, so they make such kind of the mistakes. So the options, they will be let down in that manner only, in order to confuse you. So what the thing is that, read the law properly, have the understanding of the subject properly, and read what is the facts given, in what reference that question has been asked. Sometimes it happens, Shraddha, students generally won't pay heed on the language of the question, the requirement they actually. And in that case, they just give a glance, and they just, at once they assume that yes, the question is being asked on this particular aspect. But maybe possible that the question is not based on that thing. It is asking about something else which is given in the question itself, the facts. So that is why read the question properly. This is the request. And yes, no negative marking. So again, there is no issue of just retaining the, that concept over here. But yes, the application understanding. So there you need to have the proper and thorough understanding of the subject. So this is the required as well.
So how easy it is to score marks in
Yes,
MCQs, it is there.
bilkul.
But simultaneously, the pitfall is that if you have written
Yes,
wrong answers, straight away 2 marks will be deducted.
इजी है स्कोर करना, बट वही जो श्रद्धा ने कहा, उतना ही इजीली आप लूज भी करेंगे. सो रीड द क्वेश्चंस प्रॉपर्ली.
And as per the feedback that we have from the examination department, many a times students score 28
बिल्कुल.
marks. बहुत आसानी से आप सोचिए 100 में से 28 तो आपके आ चुके हैं. Rest of the, like, even if you are vying for the exemption, तो 70 में से आपका pressure बहुत कम हो जाता है.
क्योंकि डिस्क्रिप्टिव में राइट करना, पूरा पूरा फ्रेमिंग करना, आंसर्स को लीगल रिप्रेजेंट करना, लैंग्वेज फ्रेम्ड करना, दैट इज बिट डिफिकल्ट. बट यस, देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट you won't able to get full marks. So this is what the benefit of the MCQs is there. So try to drive the benefit of this MCQ portion. So kindly go through this particular, certain we are discussing over here, certain that case scenarios, so that you can able to understand how these are being tested in the examinations. So let's start
So,
with
ma'am, Kapil Kumar has asked about
how to learn Latin maxim in the interpretation of statutes. Yes, Kapil, I know the language, that Greek language that is generally being used, the Latin language. So that Latin language is of course very difficult. But yes, उसको आप थोड़ा सा क्या कर सकते हैं, ब्रेक करके आपको उसको याद करना पड़ेगा. You have to break the terms, and somewhere how you will pronounce, and accordingly you have to retain that terminology.
Okay, I will just show you one more thing, wherein we have given you the whole of the Latin maxims at one place. So this is the Saransh of the institute.
उसमें आपको मीनिंग भी दिए हुए हैं, तो आप मीनिंग के साथ पढ़िएगा, तो यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. बट यस, टू रिटेन दैट पर्टिकुलर टर्मिनोलॉजी, उसको तो आपको पढ़ने के लिए थोड़ा सा ब्रेक करके उसके टर्म्स को आप पढ़िए, और उसको फिर थोड़ा सा रिटेन करने की कोशिश करिएगा. So this is the saransh that here, the file that is being run over here on the screen. So student Valley, this is the, that summarized notes available for you students. So you can refer these notes as in revisionary notes, which has been made for benefit of you students.
So this is the, if you ask me that how can we learn it? So if I'm saying rule of literal construction, I'm just giving you a few instances. Literal means absolute. Okay. So how you will connect the things, absolute. So absolute, they are saying it as absoluta. Okay. Rest you have to learn, but at least आपके दिमाग में रहेगा कि जब absoluta आ रहा है, so it means rule of literal interpretation or literal construction. So absolutia, senentia, expositor, non-indigent. So you can somewhere remember it. Then the next is, if I
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Am I audible?
Okay.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry. So we were saying the first one we have said is that I think you have heard about absolutus rule of literal construction. I will repeat it again, rule of literal construction. So for this, I was saying that literal is somewhere near to absolute. So you can remember it with the term that absoluta. And then you can learn it. Then these two, rule of reasonable construction and rule of exceptional construction, if you see, both are almost similar. If you learn this portion, at trust match, if you learn the whole one, then the second one is a part of this is at res magis valeat quam period. Okay. So this is done. This can be done with both can be learned at one go only.
Only few additional 2 words you have to
Learn here.
learn it.
Okay. So rule of harmonious construction. I don't have a very good thing about to learn. You have to learn it like this only. Like generally, yeah. Harmonious and generally, I don't have a very good correlation about.
Where there is any specific rule, so there the specific rule will prevail over the general rule.
So
in that, a harmonious construction is being drawn. Yes, in what sense the act has been specified, in what, with reference to what that particular specific act is saying about. So accordingly, you will draw the interpretation, or accordingly, you will draw the, the sense, what the law intent, that lawmakers have thought of. So that is known as Genelia specialibus or non-derogant. It is really little bit difficult, but yes, but just by reading twice or thrice, you can go through it.
So this is specific, and if you see, they are using the word specialibus. Okay. So कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा बहुत आपको
कुछ
correlation बनाना पड़ेगा. That is what I have coined just right now for you guys, and बाकी आपको थोड़ा सा आप खुद भी learn कर सकते हो, and you can refer it directly from here. I think Kapil, now you can learn it. और नॉन ऑब्स्टेंटे तो आप सबको पता ही है, बिकॉज दैट यू मस्ट हैव बीन रीडिंग थ्रू द लॉ टाइम एंड अगेन. सो notwithstanding non obstante is there. Peri materia, peri मतलब same. Okay, materia same, similar material. So this is like अगर
आपको रिलेट करना पड़ेगा उस टर्म को, किसी ना किसी एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग वर्ड्स के साथ रिलेट करना पड़ेगा, देन यू हैव टू रिटेन दैट लैटिन मैक्सिम.
एंड देन नॉन ऑब्स्टेंटे, पेरी मटीरिया, ये आपको मुझे लगता है लर्न करने की भी शायद इतनी जरूरत ना पड़े, बिकॉज वी हैव बीन यूजिंग इट इन अ स्टडी. और आप बार बार अपने व्हाट विल यू कॉल इट, आपकी जर्नल बोल चाल में भी वी आर यूजिंग सर्च वर्ड्स. अगर अपने फ्रेंड्स से बात करते वक्त छोटी छोटी चीजें यूज करेंगे ना, जैसे नॉन ऑब्स्टेंटे क्लॉज है, पेरी मटीरिया है, या फिर रूल ऑफ हार्मोनियस कंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं, तो आप देखेंगे आपको ना ये ऑटोमेटिकली लर्न हो जाएंगे. बाकी आपके पास पेज है, अगर आप सुबह उठ के एक बार भी पढ़ लेंगे, यू स्टिल हैव अप्रोक्सीमेटली अ मंथ, लेस देन अ मंथ, बट आपको आराम से याद हो जाएंगी. एंड ये सारी नॉन ऑब्स्टेंट और ये सारी आपकी टैक्स में भी यूज होती हैं, फॉर दैट मैटर ऑडिट के चैप्टर्स में भी हो सकता है, कहीं कहीं पे आपको ये सारे टर्म्स देखने को मिल जाए. सो कमिंग बैक टू आवर case scenarios thing. So let's start with the first case scenario so that students can understand that how and what they have to attempt. So this is your MTP series 2, and we are taking case scenario 1 for you. I hope so you guys have attempted it. It is available on the website of the institute. You can go and see to it. You have to put in your login IDs and then you can use it. So this is the case scenario 1. I will give you around 5 minutes just to read the MCQs, this case scenario, and then we will discuss. I request all the students to kindly, are you able to listen to me? All of you kindly read the case scenario. Just see it from the website of the institute.
Ma'am, the screen is not visible. Yeah.
Is it visible now? Okay. Have you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are just scrolling it a bit so that you can read rest of the facts also. Students, once you are done with it, kindly let us know.
Done, ma'am.
Hello, good. Any other student? Other students have also completed it, or you need more time? Just one more minute, and then we will start discussing the case scenario. Okay, so let's start discussing. So this question, this case scenario is dealing with a company named Brilliant Limited, and and it has an existing paid up share capital of 100 crore. They have an existing share capital of 100 crore. They have already issued sweat equity shares worth rupees 20 crore, and they are planning to issue additional sweat equity share worth rupees 10 crore. So they are saying the board has passed a resolution and got the approval for the allotment of shares. So since they are writing that the board has passed a resolution and gave the approval, so it should directly come to your mind that which approval are they talking about? Is it a special resolution or an ordinary resolution? Then the next part that they are providing is that there are two siblings, Anuj and Anita, and they are jointly holding 500 shares in the company, and the share certificate is in the name of Miss Anita. So this Mr. Anuj is now having a problem, and he has sent an email to the company, and he wants the company to issue additional share certificate in his name, and he's saying because he needs documentation that is reflecting his name also. So the word here is he wanted additional share certificate. Why I'm specifying this, that additional word, because the company has already issued one share certificate and now they are asking for additional one. But the company is saying that we cannot do so, and they have denied that it is not as per the policy and everything. The next part that they are providing it, that the company has also convened its AGM on 12th of September. So is this within the timeline, or is it beyond the time? First question that should come to my mind is this. It's obviously within the time. At the registered office, that is also correct. And the notice was served on 20th of August 2024. So they have mandatorily complied with the conditions of the time period that it should be this many days. But the point now here is how they have delivered this. They have delivered it via email. Okay. Now I should remember that what provisions are applicable in case when a notice is served through email. And while I'm reading the case scenario, I should not be like directly going into that what all is there, but it should be somewhere at the back of the mind. It should click my mind that yes, there were provisions related to it. You don't have to recall the provision then and there. If you start recalling all the provisions, then what will happen is you will be like in a thinking mode only. So it remained undelivered to 3% of the members. So now they are specifying that 3% of the members could not get the notice for the AGM, and hence they were not able to attend the AGM. And the company has issued apologies that we are sorry that you could not get the notice, and so you were not able to attend. But now one of the shareholders among that is Mr. Datta, is saying that I want to inspect the minutes of meetings. So he's saying the shareholder who could not attend the meeting, one of those, Mr. Datta is saying, I want to inspect the minutes. And he has come to the office and he was allowed to inspect the minutes for 2 hours. And once he has inspected, now he's saying that I want a physical copy of the minutes. Okay, and they have given the dates also. Next thing that they are providing in the case scenario is that the company has declared a dividend at the rate of 15% on its equity shares, and which is the year it is 31st March 2025. And further, they are providing that the company has not made adequate profits in this year. And it is further providing since in the last year, that is 31st, as of 31st March 2024, they declared 10% dividend. So now they are saying that we want to declare 15%. Okay, so more than what they have already declared in the previous year. and a resolution was passed by the board. So they have complied with the conditions. Now, after providing with all the facts of the question, sometimes what will happen that you can understand the facts at one go, but many a times you need to read the case scenario again. A prescribed, or rather a better way would be now read the MCQs and then read the case scenario again if there is a need. What will happen is then you will be in a better position to align that what the question MCQs are asking and how you need to interpret what the facts of the case scenario are saying. So let's read that the first case scenario, they are saying that these are the Companies Act and 2 marks each. So every MCQ is of 2 marks. So they are saying that the first is the company has plans to issue additional sweat equity shares worth rupees 10 crore. Choose the correct statement. First is company can issue 5 crore this year and remaining 5 crore next year. Company has already exhausted the limit to sweat equity shares, issue sweat equity shares. Company can issue only 5 crore more to remain within the prescribed limit. Company can issue only 4 crore more to remain within the prescribed limit. So give me the answer, students.
Ma'am, it will be C,
Write it,
5 crores.
write it, students. Okay, any one of the students can raise their hand and give me the reasoning that why they are saying 5 crores or C answer. Most of the students are writing, or both the portals as C only. Any student just raise your hand. So Harshal has raised his hand, ma'am. Unmute Harshal and tell us that why is the answer is C.
As per the section, the prescribed limit is for 25%, and the company is already issued 20%. So his 1 minute. And paid up equity share capital of the company is 100 crores. So as per limit maximum sweat equity share the company can issue is 25 crores. And the company already issued 20 crores. So 5 crores can company more issue.
Correct. So in this case, the answer would be the company can issue 5 crore more to remain within the prescribed limits. For students who have not understood is, the answer is C, because as per section 54, which is dealing with your sweat equity shares. What are these sweat equity shares? Sweat equity. These reasonings are not required during your examination. We are telling you so that you understand it better. So the sweat equity shares are issued to the shareholders or directors. Sweat equity shares are issued to the directors or employees of the company for providing technical know-how. And how they are provided? They are provided either at a discount or for a consideration other than cash. And the Act has provided, Section 54 specifically has provided certain conditions, out of which one of the condition is that the new total cap is 25%. The company cannot issue more than 25% of the paid up equity share capital of the company. So as correctly mentioned by Harshal, that since the company is having a capital of 100, then 25%, 20% has already been there. So 5 more can be done. Next, the company refused to issue a share certificate to Mr. Anuj. Being a joint shareholder, as both brother and sister were holding 500 shares jointly, is it Mr. Anuj's right to get the share certificate issued in his name also? Yes, being a joint shareholder, Mr. Anuj has the right to get a share certificate issued in his name. No, in case of joint holders, company shall issue only one share certificate, and delivery of share certificate to any one of the joint holders will amount to delivery to all of them. C, yes, Mr. Anuj can file a complaint against the company and get the share certificate issued. D, yes, because without share certificate, Mr. Anuj will not be able to prove himself as shareholder of the company. If we see, then option D is playing with the sentiment of the students. Oh, बेचारे के पास share certificate नहीं होगा तो क्या करे? So just provide the answer in chat box. And any student who is ready to provide us with the reasoning can raise their hand.
B option.
Providing chat and yeah, the correct option is B. Mridul, kindly unmute and provide the reasoning.
Yes, ma'am. I think it is almost self-explanatory because the explanation is given in the point itself. The delivery of a share certificate to any of the joint holders is deemed to be the delivery to all of them. If we need an additional certificate, there is another provision that we need to surrender the first certificate also. So it doesn't make sense to issue two certificates at the same time.
Okay, correct. So the next is, thank you, Mridul. So the next is, due to technical error in the software, the notice of the AGM remain undeliverable to few members. What will be the impact this on the proceedings of the meeting? The meeting needs to be rescheduled as big number of persons miss their right to attend the meeting and vote. An unintentional failure to give notice or its non-receipt by entitled members does not invalidate the meeting's proceedings. If the error came to the company's notice prior to the meeting, the company is duty bound to reschedule it. Members who miss the AGM due to notice delivery failure can declare the proceedings to be. So almost all of the students have provided with the correct answer, which is option B. Why the answer is option B is because as per rule 18 of what? Management and administration rules. So what is the correct section for this? Section 101. Which provides that first of all, any accidental omission to give notice to the for non-receipt of such notice by any member or other person who is entitled to such notice for any meeting shall not invalidate the proceedings of the meeting. And what the rule 18 is providing is it's the company's obligation shall be satisfied when it transmits the email. So this rule 18 portion is dealing specifically with when the notice is provided through email. So it is like if once you have provided the email and the company then the company shall not be held responsible for a failure of transmission of the notice which is beyond its control. So this is specifically in case of email. So the correct answer is B. The next is MCQ 4. The company wants to declare the dividend at the rate of 15% out of its free reserves. Choose the correct statement. The company has to declare dividend higher than the rate as paid for the year ended 31st March. The dividend declared should not exceed the dividend paid in the year ended 31st March. The company cannot declare any dividend as it is incurred losses in the previous financial year. The company can declare dividend at the rate of 15% in spite of inadequate profits in the financial year if it fulfills the conditions as prescribed in the Companies Act along with relevant. So it is very much clear that the option D is correct. Next is your MCQ number 5. Based on the provision of the Companies Act, by which date is the company legally required to furnish Mr. Datta a copy of the minutes? So this is like a very simple question for you, since no calculation is required.
Even you doesn't require to go into the facts also. If you retain the legal provisions, if you know the requirement of the number of days required in which a copy of minutes can be circulated, so you could easily make it out and give the answer to this particular question. So accordingly, yes, the answer given by everyone is option C, that is within 7 working days.
It's dealing with section 119 of
So it may be possible, Shraddha, that our students understand that sometimes it happens is some of questions maybe directly testing your knowledge of the law, but some MCQs may be of such a nature which may be which may be based on the facts provided in the scenario. Means there you have to drive the correct answer in line with the legal requirements. You have to read the MCQs properly and then again go to the facts, as already Shraddha has guided you in the beginning. Once after giving a glance to the MCQs, then you can go again to the respective paragraph where it is talking about that particular issue or the legal concern, you can say, and then read the questions properly, the facts, and then just think it from the legal aspect, what the law says, and then mark the answer. So this is how it's being required to, to go through the case scenarios. In fact, case scenarios questions को किया जा सकता है आसानी से, but only there are two ways. Either many times it happens that या तो students पहले MCQs पढ़ लेते हैं, then they start reading with the facts. This is also a kind of the way one can go and then attempt the case scenarios. The other way around, they first read the whole case scenarios and then read the MCQs and then start solving accordingly. So you can opt any of the ways. But yes, read it properly.
So I think students must have understood that how to deal with case scenario based questions. Let's start with the next portion, which is a 70 marks portion, which is your descriptive questions. Out of that, generally question number 1 is a compulsory question. So if it is of 14 marks, so you have to attempt all the 3 questions or 4 questions, whatever they have provided, and no choices given in that questions. No external choice, no internal choices provided.
Yes.
Out of the remaining 5 questions, you have to attempt any 4 questions. Ma'am, let's start with one of the.
चलो हम एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, एक डिस्क्रिप्टिव क्वेश्चन लेते हैं. And already many students have given reply to the case scenarios correctly. Rashmi, then Vyakunta Vasu, yes, has given the correct answer with respect to this last MCQ. So that is why it is good that our students are participating and they're trying to respond, because this is our motto, that our students should interact with us so that we can, this is a worth giving this, lecture over here, or being connected to you students through this platform.
Okay. So, Harsimran Kaur has asked, ma'am, when I learn any question as per suggested answer, but after some time I forget it, how to cover this problem? Simultaneously, one more student has asked one more question before starting descriptive. Why we are discussing this, I will understand. Ma'am, I find law very interesting. Mridul, you have said it. But there is a general notion that students don't get very good marks in law on Google, etc. I have seen that students get around 98 to 100 marks in practical subjects, but it isn't common to see in law paper. Can you please shed light on what common mistakes can cause us to lose marks and what are the important things that helps one score well? So somewhere both the questions is aligned. One will give rise one to another. So Harsimran Kaur, the point is, if you are learning questions or answers from the suggested, first of all, suggested are prepared in a manner, in a very, like if you see a lab, what do we say कि अगर lab में कोई testing हो रही है तो सब ना बहुत ही perfect तरीके से हो रहा होगा.
मतलब ये कि हर एक चीज को मेजर करके प्रॉपरली एक स्टैंडर्ड होगा, मतलब एक
बिल्कुल.
एसओपी होती है, एक पॉलिसी होती है, आपको इतना यूज करना है, इस वे में यूज करना है, इन दिस प्रोसीजर टू बी फॉलोड, तो एवरीथिंग इज देयर.
बट जब वही बात अगर हम कहें कि अगर हम किसी गाड़ी की स्पीड की बात करते हैं तो वो क्या कहते हैं, अंडर लैब टेस्टेड कंडीशंस. आप हमेशा देखो ऑन रोड चीजें डिफरेंट होती हैं और लैब टेस्टिंग के टाइम पे चीजें थोड़ा डिफरेंट होती हैं. तो जब आप सजेस्टेड से लर्न कर रहे हो, आप अपने ऊपर ये प्रेशर मत लो कि आप वर्ड टू वर्ड वही लिख के आ सकोगे. It is humanly not possible to write those exact words. What the paper checker is looking at is that you understand what the provision is. You are able to correlate the facts of the question with the provision of law, and then you are able to derive that answer, a conclusion. But the point is, you have to write in a proper language. Sometimes you have to use legal terms in that. It's not like that you will be writing everything in a very legal. आप कोई अभी अपना केस नहीं प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो, ना किसी जज के सामने, ना आईटैट के सामने. सो आपको आंसर इस तरीके से लिखना है कि आप अपनी बात क्लियरली अपने पेपर चेकर को बता सकें, लेकिन साइमल्टेनियसली आपकी लैंग्वेज में एक प्रोफेशनलिज्म झलकनी चाहिए. प्रोफेशनलिज्म का मतलब हम कहीं पर भी ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि आपको बड़ी फैंसी लैंग्वेज लिखनी है। यू कैन राइट सिंपल लैंग्वेज बट जो अपीलिंग लगे, और उसमें जब अगेन एंड अगेन आप वही वर्ड्स स्टडी के पढ़ते रहेंगे फुल सेंटेंसेस, तो कहीं ना कहीं आपके माइंड में रिटेन हो जाएगा कि आप अपने आप ही पैरी मटीरियल वर्ड आपको याद करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, नॉन ऑब्स्टेंटिव क्लॉजेस आपको याद करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, आपको अपने आप लिखते वक्त आपके अंदर से निकलेगा। मैंने सेक्शन 42 लर्न नहीं किया है कि वो प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट से रिलेटेड है, या मैम ने सेक्शन क्या कहते हैं 42 हो गया या 148 हो गया या 138 हो गया, 139 ऑडिटर से रिलेटेड हो गया, हमने लर्न नहीं किया। सिंस वी आर रीडिंग इट अगेन एंड अगेन एंड अगेन, तो वो हमें लर्न हो गए हैं। उसी तरीके से ये आपके लिए भी ट्रू है कि जब आप उसको बार बार आपने उसको अगर फुल सेंटेंसेस पढ़े, आप अपने आप उसे एग्जाम में लिख के आ पाओगे, और वो आपके लिखने के तरीके में पेपर चेकर को समझ में आता है। सो हरसिमरन कौर, आप उसको भूल तब तक रहे हो जब तक आप उसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ लर्न करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो। जब आप उसको समझोगे, बार बार रिवीजन इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। आप रिवाइज कर रहे हो। हम गाने भी तो पहली बार सुन के, तो मुझे भी कोई गाना, मुझे उसकी लय, वो क्या होता है, लिरिक्स,
धुन, लिरिक्स आर द वर्डिंग्स एक्चुअली।
ओके, लिरिक्स, और एक और क्या चीज होती है उसमें, म्यूजिक,
म्यूजिक,
है ना। तो हमें म्यूजिक कहीं ना कहीं हमारे माइंड में पीछे फिट हो जाता है, वर्ड्स एक बार में फिट नहीं होते हैं। सो वर्ड्स हमारे माइंड में कब फिट होते हैं, जब हम उस गाने को बार बार उस म्यूजिक के साथ सुन रहे होते हैं,
और बार बार गा भी रहे होते हैं समटाइम्स।
हाँ।
So what the thing is that what Shraddha is trying to convey is whatever you are learning and again learning, then only you are able to reproduce in the same way. और आपको रिप्रोड्यूस करने से तात्पर्य कि आप उसको पढ़े और पढ़ने के साथ प्रैक्टिस, जो श्रद्धा कहना चाह रही है उसको आपको, हाँ, रिवाइज एंड प्रैक्टिस। अब वो कैसे आएगा? जितने भी आपके पास अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज हैं, जितने भी क्वेश्चंस हैं, आइदर इट मे बी थ्रू द सजेस्टेड आंसर्स और एमटीपीज और द आरटीपीज या वेरियस काइंड ऑफ द केस सिनेरियो बुकलेट, व्हाटसोएवर द रिसोर्सेज आर अवेलेबल विद यू, go on practicing the same. और जब आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे होंगे तो definitely you are also being given the reasoning at many places. So read the reasoning because the answers are given in the suggested answer. In the case scenario booklet also you are having the reasoning. So definitely somewhere when you are reading with the reasoning, your answers, that means you are revising the concept. और जब आप suggested answers को लिखेंगे, solve करेंगे, तो definitely somewhere you are able to reproduce whatever you are reading or learning. तो उससे भी आपको पता चलेगा कि wherever you need to focus more on, something you are skipping or something you are not able to retain, that you can recall or you can just focus more on because you are able to make it out and I'm not able to write it properly. तो उस पर आप अपना थोड़ा फोकस ज्यादा इंक्रीज करिएगा। रेस्ट आप जितना लिखेंगे, जितना प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, जितना रीड करेंगे बार बार, तो डेफिनेटली समवेयर एवरीथिंग विल बी हियर माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, एंड दैट विल रियली हेल्प यू ड्यूरिंग द एग्जामिनेशन इन दैट सिनेरियो।
एंड आई वुड लाइक टू नाउ गो फर्दर ऑन दिस, क्योंकि ये आपका मेजर, आपको एग्जाम में तो देखो आंसर लिख के आने ही आने हैं। व्हाट हैपेंस इज, मृदुल आपने पूछा कि प्रैक्टिकल पेपर में आप लोगों के नंबर आ जाते हैं और इस सब्जेक्ट में नहीं आते हैं। सो आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, आप में से कितने स्टूडेंट्स ने जब अकाउंट्स करनी शुरू करी थी, तो कितनों ने रजिस्टर के साथ करी थी, एक हाथ मतलब रजिस्टर था और पेन था हाथ में, और कितनों ने जब लॉ स्टार्ट करी तो उनके हाथ में रजिस्टर था और पेन था साथ? जस्ट अ क्विक, विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी टाइम। क्या लॉ को फर्स्ट टाइम जब हमने पढ़ना शुरू किया था, तो क्या हमारे हाथ में पेन लिखने के लिए था या मार्क करने के लिए था, और जब हमने अकाउंट्स पढ़ने शुरू करी तो हमारे हाथ में क्या था? मृदुल, यू हैव रेज्ड योर हैंड। Yes, speak, Mridul.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to say the same that I've been doing that written practice of definitions and section numbers, etc. when I'm learning. So I'm trying, but that was just the doubt. Ki, law is generally not considered to be a scoring subject, but I think ki, itna interesting and it's just based on understanding. So why is it that it is not scoring?
अगर अगर आप मृदुल किसी को ये कहना शुरू कर दो, यू आर मैड, यू आर मैड, यू आर मैड, यू आर मैड, जब तक वो अपने अंदर से इतना स्ट्रांग नहीं होगा ना, वो बेचारा कुछ दिन में, आपने कभी कभी वो प्रैक्टिसेस सुनी है कि एक व्हाट, अगर आप किसी एक फूल को भी बेचारे को बोलना शुरू कर दो ना, तू गधा है, तू गधा है, तू गधा है, तो वो फूल भी बेचारा मुरझा जाएगा। व्हाट यू वांट टू से टू योरसेल्फ, अगर आप, चाहे आपने अभी तक कुछ भी सुना हो लॉ को लेके, लेकिन अगर आपने अपने मन में मान लिया कि नहीं, लॉ इज एन इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट एंड यू आर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इट एंड यू कैन स्कोर वेल, वो आपके लिए ट्रू हो जाएगा, चाहे वो बाकी सबके लिए कुछ भी रहे। इट इज ऑल डिपेंडेंट अपॉन योर ओन थिंकिंग हेयर। ओके। सेकेंडली, अकाउंट्स जब हम करते हैं तो हमारे दिमाग, अकाउंट्स या कोई भी प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट जब भी हम करते हैं तो हमारे दिमाग में ना एक कंसेप्ट होती है कि हमें ये ना प्रैक्टिस करना है। अगर आप वर्ड यूज करोगे ना, तो आप हमेशा ये कहते हो हमें ना ये प्रैक्टिस करना है। जब भी हम कोई भी थियोरिटिकल सब्जेक्ट लेते हैं, हमने एक्चुअली कैटेगराइजेशन करना शुरू कर दिया, तो हम कहते हैं ये ना हम रिवाइज कर लेंगे, आई विल रिवाइज इट, आई विल रिवाइज इट। कभी भी आप ना लॉ के लिए आप कभी अपने मन में ये वर्ड लाते ही नहीं हो कि मुझे ये प्रैक्टिस करना है। अब जैसे मृदुल, आपने शायद, जैसे आप बता रहे हो कि आपने ये
लिख के
डेफिनेशंस करी हैं, लेकिन जब आपने अकाउंट्स पढ़ा होगा ना, तो 90% क्वेश्चंस को आप लोगों ने हाथ से लिख के सॉल्व किया होगा। आप उन क्वेश्चंस का ऑडिट सिर्फ और सिर्फ एग्जामिनेशन डे पे करते हो, अदरवाइज आप उसे हर बार कोशिश करोगे कि आप उसे लिख के करो। सो योर सेल्यूलर मस्कुलर मेमोरी, सेल्यूलर मेमोरी तो पूरी बॉडी में, मस्कुलर मेमोरीज में ना वो क्वेश्चंस बस जाते हैं। There is a proper science on it, and that's why whenever I am, yes, thank you, Vaikuntha Vasu, प्रैक्टिस इज लेस। हमें लगता है हम प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, बट वो थोड़ी ना सुपरफिशियल प्रैक्टिस होती है, वो हमारी मेंटल प्रैक्टिस हो रही है। और माइंड तो हम सबका ऐसा है कि हम अभी बैठे बैठे स्विट्जरलैंड भी जा सकते हैं।
इसमें एक चीज और ऐड ऑन करूंगी मैं, all the fingers are not equal. All the nature of the subjects are not equal. आपको पता है, to score in the law is very difficult, because since I am in the masters of law, so I know, though I have studied very much and have given lot of time, but my score was not as that much as other subjects which were of practical in nature they used to get. So this I do understand, but we should not compare with one subject and the other. ठीक है, आपके मार्क्स का डिफरेंस रहेगा, बट वही जो श्रद्धा ने कहा, जब आपको खड़ा किया जाएगा कहीं पे किसी चीज को बोलने के लिए, या आपकी मान लिया आप कहीं इंटरव्यू में कोई चीज फेस करते हैं, और इफ यू एंटर इनटू द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, व्हेन यू स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग ऑन द सब्जेक्ट बाय गिविंग द रेफरेंस ऑफ द, यू नो, दैट द प्रोविजन, एंड you are able to make the people understand what the law is or what the law is talking about, there itself reflects how much intelligence you have or how much knowledge you have regarding that subject. You doesn't require to prove yourself, आपको प्रूव करने की जरूरत नहीं है, but yes, still there's the one solution, only the practice part. Yes, because law को, क्योंकि फ्रेमिंग ऑफ, वहां पे कहते हैं आपका लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, आपका फ्रेमिंग ऑफ आंसर्स है, प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो दैट मैटर्स। एंड यस, एवरीथिंग हैज स्टेप मार्किंग है, प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो प्रोविजंस के कुछ मार्क्स हैं, तो आप एग्जैक्टली प्रोविजंस नहीं लिख सकते, नो बॉडी कैन राइट, but yes, we are trying to to get, yes, keywords, and we are trying to bring somewhere at the similar to it, कि भाई आपकी सही चीज आ जाए, and what the provision is trying to say, that comes out properly, and accordingly we get the marks. So इतना माइंड मत करिएगा कि ठीक है, बट हाँ,
और
yes, you
दूसरा
can
इसमें
try.
एक चीज और है जो मैं, देयर इज वन मोर पॉइंट जो मेरे मन में था आप लोगों से कहने के लिए। अकाउंट से किसी भी प्रैक्टिकल पेपर में जब आपको आंसर आना होगा, तो आप, वो एक आंसर होगा,
हाँ,
ठीक है, आपने उसको लिख लिया और वो आंसर आ गया, तो आपको मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे। यहाँ पर क्या होता है, क्योंकि मैं जो वर्ड्स बोल रही हूँ, अगर मैं और निशा मैम दोनों सेम चीज भी कहना चाहेंगे, तो हमारे
डिफरेंट वे होगा,
तो
हाँ,
वर्ड्स डिफरेंट हो जाएंगे, हमारे बोलने का, हमारे लिखने का तरीका डिफरेंट हो जाएगा, चाहे लॉ सेम है, ठीक है, वर्ड्स लिखने का तरीका सेम हो जाए, डिफरेंट हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल।
सो जो आपका पेपर चेकर बैठा है,
उसको
उसकी
जरूरी नहीं कि मेरी बात ज्यादा इफेक्टिव लगे, मे बी पॉसिबल व्हाट श्रद्धा मैम इज सेइंग दैट इज मोर इफेक्टिव,
yes,
so accordingly he may give out of 3 marks 2 marks, and to me it may be possible he may giving just 1.5 marks or 1
जबकि
marks.
दोनों का आंसर ठीक
Yes,
होगा।
so that may
सो
be the
डोंट गेट
possibility.
डिसहार्टेंड। इसलिए
Yes,
ये भी एक रीजन है कि क्योंकि अकाउंट्स में स्पेसिफिक आंसर्स होते हैं, ये उस वजह से फुल मार्क्स आने के चांसेस ज्यादा हो जाते हैं। जो लॉ में आंसर का कंक्लूजन आपका सबका सेम हो जाएगा, बट उसको लिखने का तरीका चेंज हो
वहीं पे
जाएगा।
आपका स्कोर्स में डिफरेंस हो जाता है। इफ यू हैव रिटन द राइट मतलब प्रोविजन, यू हैव गिवन द रेफरेंस एंड यू हैव कंक्लूडेड इट करेक्टली, योर कंक्लूजन इज राइट, बट ओनली द प्रेजेंटेशन दैट मेक द डिफरेंस इन द स्कोरिंग ऑफ मार्क्स।
और इसलिए अब इतना आप लोगों को इसमें टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बाकी प्रैक्टिस करो एंड यू विल डू इट। So one question, Harshal asks, ma'am, what should be the approach while giving the exam? First to solve MCQ or descriptive? You get those 15 minutes with you, read the entire question paper, try to give a glance to everything, and then decide. Because at the first go, it is very difficult to say ki what should you attempt first. It totally depends on the paper. So let's start with the question. It's already 3. Vardha Limited, a textile company, had issued 5 lakh preference shares of rupees 100 each in 2015, which are now due for redemption in 2025. So they issued the shares in which year? 2015. And they are due for redemption now. The company has retained earnings of rupees 3 crore and free reserves of 2 crore. Being an expert, you are asked to recommend possible options that the management can avail as regard to redemption of shares according to the provisions of the Companies Act. Now, in this question, what will happen is you have to not only apply the provisions, you have to put your thinking cap on. आपको थोड़ा ऑप्शंस सोचने पड़ेंगे।
बिल्कुल। अब आप देख रहे हो इसमें क्या इंपॉर्टेंट बात दी, एक तो ये इन्होंने किस टाइम पे, इन्होंने कौन से ईयर में इशू किया है, आपको ये ध्यान रखना है। और किस टाइम पे उनका जो रिडेम्पशन की बात कर रहे हैं वो कब के लिए बोला हुआ है, व्हेन दे आर सेइंग कि दैट टाइम इज ड्यू फॉर द रिडेम्पशन।
So let's give our students 2 to 3 minutes.
So let's, you may write the answer and then you can read before us, so that let's see how you can improve. Yeah, where are the things that we need to take care upon, so that we will try to just improve the quality of our answers.
And students, please try to attempt the question and do it, so that you will also come to know that where you are lacking, we can improvise upon it कि हाँ आप इस जगह पे और improve कर सकते हो if there is a need. So let's start. It's 2:58. 3-2. We will start asking you the answer. Kapil Kumar, Harsimran Kaur, Rashmi Mohanty, and Vaikuntha Vasu. If you have written the answer, you can post it in the query pad. We can read the answer from here also. So, are you guys done? Any student willing to share their answer with us, please kindly raise your hand or post the answer. Students participate, then only you will be gaining the maximum benefit. Okay, so ma'am,
Let's start. Yeah. Actually, first you should know that these issues or the question is based on which legal provision. So since you can easily make it out, it's talking about the redemption of shares. So redemptions of, basically, if you see in the part first of the question, is talking about with respect to issue of the preference shares and also with respect to redemption of the preference shares. Not to this particular portion, which is the relevant section. Yes, the relevant section is section 54. So there it is, section 54 or 55. Okay. So what section 55 of the Companies Act is dealing with? It is dealing with issue and redemption of preference shares. So since you must be seeing that section 55 is very lengthy, so do you need to write the complete and entire section? So what the thing is that now here, dear friends, you need to see how much marks is allotted to this particular question in order to define the length of the answer. It is of 5 marks. And plus, you need to mention only the relevant facts related to the question. You doesn't require to give the entire section. If you started writing the entire section, so definitely you will miss out the complete paper in that case.
Can I add?
Yeah.
Vaikanta Vasu has given the answer. Thank you. As per the provisions of the company, it's better Companies Act, right? Companies
Yes.
Act 2013. Company can issue redeemable preference shares for a period of 20 years. In case infrastructure projects can issue for a period of 30 years with redeeming 10% from 21st year. In this case, company can redeem preferences by utilizing existing free reserves and retained earnings, or the company can issue new redeemable preference shares. So Vaikantavasu, what I can make out is you are knowing what to write. So you have written it in short. That's very good. While since this question will be, I think, around 5 marks, so you need to elaborate it a bit.
Yes.
So
And every time you remember, when there is a descriptive question, you need to give the answer in entirety. In the sense, your answer should be properly classified into, you can say, you can divide into 3 parts basically. The part first shall be comprising of the relevant provisions. So yes, the relevant provision, as Vaikanta Vasu has defined the relevant, elements or the requirements in order to fulfill the requirement of the question. Though there was no need of giving the reference of infrastructure project, because nowhere the question is talking about the infrastructure project. But yes, that is fine with you.
But that is correct.
But that is correct. That is fine with. But yes, you need to give first the relevant provisions, and after relevant provisions, you have to give the legal issue that is lying in the question. So already in the question, you know that what is the question given over here, the issues they want to do the redemption of the shares. So what they need to do, how they can do, they are asking about the options, what are the ways in which the redemption of preference shares can be done.
So in this question, there is one more thing. If we see, there is nothing like that. This is like yes or no kind of a question, whether the company is doing correct or not. This time the question is like, what are the options available? So you have to now think and then write. So your answer, I'm happy, Vaikanta Vasu, that you are writing the correct answer. You have given both the options.
बिल्कुल. तो बस इसमें सीधा सा है, लेकिन जब आप लिखेंगे तो what you have to give the reference of section 55 कि yes, redeemable shares issue किए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन what are the options that are available? There are certain conditions actually. अगर आप देखेंगे आपका article of association should mention that company may issue the preference shares, okay, and these shares are liable to be redeemed. ठीक है, redeemed का क्या मतलब है? Which can be purchased, okay, जिसको बायबैक कंपनी कर सकती है. तो यहाँ पे redeem है, ठीक है. तो यू आर सेइंग दैट कंपनी में इशू प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स व्हिच आर लायबल टू बी रिडीम्ड, लेकिन कब कर सकती है उसका टाइम पीरियड दिया हुआ है कि इट कैन बी डन विद इन अ पीरियड नॉट एक्सीडिंग 20 इयर्स. कब से? फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ इशू ऑफ द शेयर्स. तो आपको क्वेश्चन में डेट भी बता रखी कि 2015 में शेयर्स इशू किए गए थे, तो उससे आप 20 इयर्स लगाएंगे तो इन्होंने कब इशू किया? 2025 में. दैट इज इट इज विद इन द गिवन टाइम पीरियड, क्योंकि आपको 20 इयर्स के अंदर अंदर करना है. So you can make it out कि yes, this is within the time period, so yes, it can do it. Now, there are certain conditions which need to be complied in order to redeem the
Use my
preference shares.
writing.
अब conditions लेकिन आपको ध्यान रखनी है, तभी आप बता पाओगे कि whether they have the right to issue to redeem the this preference shares or not. फिर आपको बताना है अगर है, then what are the ways in which that redemption can be done. So you must be seeing that any this redemption of preference shares can be done in the two ways. First, it can be done out of the out of the profits that are available for the distribution of the dividend. Okay. पहला ऑप्शन तो आपके पास ये अवेलेबल है. इट इज गिवन अंडर द प्रॉपरली इन द द सेक्शन 55 में आप देख सकते हैं ये चीज, राइट. फिर दूसरा बोला जाता है कि आउट ऑफ द प्रोसीड्स किसका? ऑफ अ फ्रेश इशू ऑफ शेयर्स that is particularly made for specific purpose of this redemption. जो specific purpose के लिए बनाए गए हैं, जो freshly issue shares किए जा रहे हैं, उनके जो proceeds हैं उनमें से कर सकता है. तो आपको ये properly mention करना पड़ेगा. साथ ही वो कब कर सकते हैं? When they are fully paid. ये भी याद रखना, अगर आपने provisions को ठीक से पढ़ा है तो this is also one of the requirement that you need to mention that it is being fully paid. And then also then you need to mention कि भाई कितना कितना सम, अगर मान लो वो आउट ऑफ इसमें प्रॉफिट में से पे करते हैं तो कितना सम पे कर सकते हैं. दिस इज अगेन वन ऑफ द कंडीशंस सो दैट यू कैन डिफाइन, बिकॉज सर्टेन सम नीड्स टू बी ट्रांसफर टू द सीआरआर अकाउंट. तो दो चीजें हैं, अगर आप प्रॉफिट में से पे करते हैं तो यू नीड टू ट्रांसफर अ सर्टेन सम आउट ऑफ सच प्रॉफिट टू बी ट्रांसफर टू सीआरआर अकाउंट. तो यानी एक आपका सीआरआर अकाउंट से हो जाएगा. This is one of the options that you are is available with the company. And the second is thing by freshly issuing the shares which are specifically meant for this redemption part. उनसे कर सकता, तो there you doesn't require to transfer to the CRR account. So basically the company is having the two options. The question is simple. It's just कि आपको कितना लिखना है. This is very important. You doesn't require to mention the entire section. Only the requirement आपका जो पूछा गया है आपको बताना है. पहले तो ये देखना है क्या 20 years वाला compliance हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. redemption of period का वो हो रहा है, ठीक है, तो वो कर सकता है. अब जब कर सकता है, what are the conditions? इन्होंने ये बता दिया भाई, conditions के लिए आपका इन दो चीजों से कर सकता है. और जो भी सम होता है, आप जो भी ट्रांसफर कर रहे हैं सीआरआर अकाउंट में, वट एवर सम इज बीइंग ट्रांसफर्ड, इट शेल बी इक्वल टू द नॉमिनल अमाउंट ऑफ द शेयर्स टू बी रिडीम्ड. ये कैसे पता चलेगा? अगर आप क्वेश्चन में देखेंगे कितना दिया हुआ है, वहां पे आपको दिया है 5 लाख प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स ऑफ वैल्यू बता रखी ₹100. तो वो आपका कितना हो जाता है? 5 करोड़. तो आप इतना अमाउंट जो है यू कैन ट्रांसफर टू द सीआरआर अकाउंट. ठीक है, तो आप ये देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे उनके पास ये ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है. तो दिस वुड बी डन इन दीज टू वेज. सो यू नीड टू मेंशन only this much information within your answer, link the answers and give your answer in a complete manner as per the requirement of the question.
So, have you seen section 55 before in your examinations? Like, if you have seen the previous year examination?
नहीं, एक चीज और हो सकता है. This is what in the question we have asked with respect to redeemable shares. ठीक है. अब मान लो कि company is in a position where it is not in a position to redeem the shares. Then what will be the situation? It may be possible they may tweak this language of the question. They may ask in a different context. आपको information यही दी हुई है, but later on they added a line. that company, if a company is not in a position to redeem the share, then what will be the answers?
Vaikuntha Basu is saying in this case we can extend the period.
पीरियड आप एक्सटेंड कर सकते
लेकिन वो
हैं,
आपके
लेकिन
क्वेश्चन की रिक्वायरमेंट
नहीं
नहीं
नहीं,
है.
पीरियड से ज्यादा इसमें ये बात है, अगर आप देखोगे उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि जहां पे ऐसा कुछ होता है वेयर द कंपनी इज नॉट इन पोजीशन टू रिडीम द दैट शेयर्स, इन दैट केस दैट shares can be deemed to be as an irredeemable preference shares. And what will happen in that it can be done, but yes, with the consent of the holders of 3/4 in value of such preference shares. ठीक है, प्लस उसमें आपको ट्रिब्यूनल की अप्रूवल भी चाहिए ये, हाँ, यस, इन केस एनी पेटिशन इज फाइल्ड विद रेफरेंस टू द सेम. So in that case, if further redeemable preference share is issued, then it can be, you can see that in respect of such irredeemable preference shares which company has not been able to issue, तो वहां पे it shall be deemed as a redeemable preference shares. वहां पे irredeemable preference shares को भी redeemable deem किया जाएगा. So there a bit of answers will change if the questions is being changed. So you need to have the understanding of the entire section. Then accordingly, whatever has been asked in the question, you don't need to give the answer in line with the requirements. Since our question was simply based on the options they were asking with respect to the redeemable preference shares, how it could be done. So this is, we can have given and explained you how you can give the answer. That is the only relevant information is being required to be given in the answers.
So the answers can be written in such a manner. And why I was saying that, have you seen section 55 before in your papers? Many a times we receive queries from the students that this time the paper was difficult.
Yes.
Actually, the paper is not difficult. It's more about that whether you have studied the whole of the study material or the materials provided by the institute. It is a sincere request to all of you people that kindly do not do a selective study. What you can do is that you can concentrate on some portions more and give a less importance, or not less importance is not even the correct word, not that kind of depth into that, but you should not leave anything. The paper can come from anywhere within the scope of the syllabus.
बिल्कुल. और किसी भी क्वेश्चन सेक्शन को जो आप पढ़े, जो विच इज ऑल फॉर्मिंग द पार्ट ऑफ योर स्टडी मटेरियल विच इज बीइंग कवर्ड, तो ट्राई टू मेक इट कि आप उसको ब्रेक करके रिटेन करने की कोशिश करिए. अब जैसे अगर आप ये पूरा प्रोविजन देखेंगे 55, तो यू विल फाइंड इट वेरी वास्ट एंड वेरी लेंथी. तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि दिस होल प्रोविजन इज बीइंग डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स. यू वुड बी सेइंग, एक आपका सीधा सीधा रिडीमेबल प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स की बात कर रहा है, एक कर रहा है कि वेयर इट कैन नॉट बी रिडीम्ड, देन व्हाट विल बी द सिचुएशन. So you need to break down your section in such a manner कि हाँ, कि अगर ये situation है, so this we have to give down. This is the relevant provision that you can give in your answer. And if that is the other situation given over there, then you can give accordingly the relevant reference of the that legal provisions. And then you can conclude your answers.
एग्जाम में आपको कितना लिखना है, वो आपको सिर्फ इतना ही लिखना है जितना हमने अभी आपको इस चार्ट में पूरा करवाया है. मतलब आपको ये 2035 वाली बात भी, इनफैक्ट 2035 आपको मेंशन नहीं करना है. आपको सिर्फ ये कि 20 इयर्स तक है तो इट्स विद इन द टाइमलाइन.
और हो सकता है इसी क्वेश्चन के 2-3 पार्ट्स ब्रेक कर दिए जाए और ये पूछा जा सकता है कि उन्होंने वहां पे ईयर्स में कि क्या ये किया, मान लीजिए उन्होंने वहां पे ईयर्स का डिफरेंस कर दिया, इशू का डेट उन्होंने आपको डिफरेंट दे दिया, एंड देन दे आर आस्किंग वेदर इट इज लीगल और नॉट, वेदर हियर द रिडेम्पशन ऑफ प्रेफरेंस शेयर दैट हैज बीन डन बाय द कंपनी इज वैलिड और नॉट, or whether it can be done or not. So आपसे testing can be in any of the way, in any of the provision. It's just they are checking your knowledge of the legal provisions. So it's good that you have a greater and in-depth understanding of the legal provision in order to give your answers, and in order whatever being testing is being done through the way of the examination, you are able to quantify with your answers.
So ma'am, can we take one more question?
Yeah, of course. Now let's take one more question let's take from again from this Companies Act, which are very common. You must have heard about that. There are various topics in the Companies Act which are regularly, frequently being touched upon. So one of the important topic you can see, yes, is, let's take OPC. This is important concept.
OPC or
let's take which one you want? You want this one?
I think if we can take this,
we can take any of the questions
so that they have one from the this other laws.
So let's take from the other law portion. This is the question which is about, that it's talking about the GC Act. It's a GC Act or it's
No,
a
it's
interpretation of such.
interpretation.
Sorry, because both are interrelated act. You must have been seen. Both acts, both the topics, the GC Act interpretations are frequently used by our legal experts in the courts while analyzing and driving the interpretation of the laws. So both are related. When you talk about the GC, it's talking about the general laws that can be drive general meaning where there's nothing been defined in any of the act. There, of course, the general clauses act prevails in order to have the interpretation of any legal provision or any term defined over there. But yes, that term is not defined within that act itself. So there we can draw its meaning or its intention ki what the legal legislators, you can say the lawmakers, are intending to define that particular word or what meaning they are just trying to bring to that particular word. Yeah, how it can be interpreted, how it can be constructed, that can be derived with the help of the General Clauses Act. And where far as this interpretation of statutes is concerned, that these are the this is all the laws, how they can be interpreted. There are certain principles. On the basis of that principles, on the basis of that customs, or the basis of the legal precedents, on the basis of historical context, how the law can be constructed, how its meaning can be derived, how you can say a beneficial constructions can be done. That is all can be derived to the interpretation of statutes. So
if we say about this question, it is simply no vehicles are allowed in the park. So, and they are asking comment on the statement explaining the concept of construction in legal interpretation, mention its significance in determining the legal interpretation. So if we are saying no vehicle, so what is the meaning of vehicle here? If you are taking it from the point of view of you are a judge there and some case comes that no vehicles are allowed in the park, you have to interpret it.
भाई कहिए आप लोगों ने इंटरप्रिटेशन स्टैट्यू में एक तो लिटरल मीनिंग भी पढ़ा होगा. अगर आप लिटरल मीनिंग में घुस गए, नो व्हीकल्स आर अलाउड इन द पार्क मीन्स किसी भी तरह का व्हीकल, whether it may be a two-wheeler, whether it may be a four-wheeler, or you can say whether it kind of any wheelchair, you can say, or it can be of any kind of the trolley, that baby carrying trolley is there, the stroller is there. So in that case, everything will be coming within this no vehicle category.
Vehicle is anything on which you travel.
Yes, if you take the literal meaning, absolute meaning in that case. But yes, now here comes into the play the interpretation of statutes, the principles.
So, in this question, ma'am, there are two parts if you see. One is आपको कमेंट करना है जो स्टेटमेंट दी हुई है उस पे, साथ ही साथ आपको ये भी बताना पड़ेगा कि कंस्ट्रक्शन क्या होता है. अब क्या होता है, बच्चे या तो सिर्फ कमेंट कर देते हैं. यहाँ पर उन्होंने दो चीजें पूछी, कमेंट ऑन द स्टेटमेंट.
हाँ, मतलब इस पर्टिकुलर फर्स्ट पैरा में तो दो चीजें
पैराग्राफ में एक्सप्लेनिंग द कंसेप्ट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन. तो आपको कंस्ट्रक्शन का मतलब क्या होता है लीगल इंटरप्रिटेशन के केस में, वो भी कहीं ना कहीं आपको बताना पड़ेगा. फिर उसका जो नेक्स्ट पार्ट है, आपको कमेंट भी करना पड़ेगा कि ये स्टेटमेंट का मतलब क्या है. और फिर थर्ड पार्ट आता है मेंशन इट्स सिग्निफिकेंस. किसकी सिग्निफिकेंस? कंस्ट्रक्शन की सिग्निफिकेंस इन डिटरमाइनिंग द लीगल इंटरप्रिटेशन. So मैम बस उस बच्चों को इतना तो कंस्ट्रक्शन दे नो, यू हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड देम अबाउट लिटरल कंस्ट्रक्शन एवरीथिंग. इन शॉर्ट इफ वी से अगर हम इस पे कमेंट करना है तो हम कंस्ट्रक्शन बता देंगे कि क्या है, आपको उसका मीनिंग देखना है और इंटेंट देखना पड़ेगा.
फिर कई बार ये होता है जब हम लॉ को इंटरप्रेट करते हैं, वी ऑल्सो सी व्हाट इज द इंटेंशन ऑफ द लॉ मेकर्स. लॉ मेकर्स का इंटेंट क्या है, पार्क में क्यों अलाउड नहीं हो रहा है, क्या इंटेंट है इस लाइन को इंट्रोड्यूस करना, उसके पीछे क्या है, टू अवॉइड द पॉल्यूशन. क्योंकि मेन इंटेंट क्या होता है पार्क में, आप कोई व्हीकल ना लाए, आप कोई बाइक ना लाए, आप कोई मतलब
जो लोग खेल रहे हैं वो
मोटर
hurt ना हो.
यस, कोई हर्ट ना हो, जो चल रहे हैं, जो बैठे हैं, जो बच्चे खेल रहे हैं, तो जो भी है, तो इन चीजों को कहना चाहिए कि इन चीजों को प्रोटेक्शन देने के लिए दे हैव जस्ट पुट रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, दे हैव जस्ट प्रोहिबिटेड द व्हीकल्स टू बी अलाउड इन द पार्क. सो दिस द इंटेंट ऑफ द लॉ, यू कैन से. सो अगर हम इस चीज को ध्यान में रख के करेंगे, बेनिफिशियल कंस्ट्रक्शंस करेंगे.
तो मैम ने जो वर्ड बोला उसमें मैं एक लाइन ऐड करूंगी. यहाँ पर हम जब उसको लिखना शुरू करेंगे कंस्ट्रक्शन के मतलब को, हम लिखेंगे जस्ट एंड रीजनेबल मैनर में आप इंटरप्रेट कर रहे हो. आप समझ रहे हो, आपकी जो नॉर्मल बोलचाल की भाषा है ना, उसी को ही आपको लीगल वर्ड्स में लिखना है, तो वर्ड्स वहां पे क्या आ जाएगा, जस्ट एंड इक्विटेबल, जस्ट एंड रीजनेबल, और टू रिमूव एम्बिग्विटीज, इस टाइप के वर्ड्स वी विल बी यूजिंग।
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि क्या होता है कि एम्बिग्विटी है, इसीलिए कंस्ट्रक्शन करने की जरूरत पड़ रही है, इसीलिए इंटरप्रिटेशन करने की जरूरत पड़ रही है। ठीक है, इसका इंटेंट क्या है उस चीज को डिफाइन करने की जरूरत पड़ रही है। तो दिस इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ डिटरमाइनिंग द लीगल इंटरप्रिटेशन।
सो वी हैव टोल्ड यू कि दैट कंस्ट्रक्शन का मतलब क्या होता है, मैम ने आपको सिंपल शब्द में बता दिया। देन अब इसमें कमेंट करने लगेंगे तो हमें क्या कहना पड़ेगा कि नो व्हीकल्स आर अलाउड इन द पार्क, इस स्टेटमेंट में हमें क्या सारे ही व्हीकल्स को एक्सक्लूड करना है? नाउ वी हैव टू गो बिहाइंड द इंटेंट, व्हाट द लेजिस्लेचर और व्हाट द लॉ मेकर इज सेइंग। दे वांट टू प्रोहिबिट only those kind of vehicles which are motorized or which
बिल्कुल,
are hampering the sanity of the park. But should they disallow or prohibit vehicles like
बाइसिकल उसमें
bicycles या बेबी स्ट्रॉलर्स या बेबी ट्राइसाइकिल्स हो गई या व्हील चेयर्स हो गई, तो हमें then we have to give the comment like this, and then we can say that primary goal is to prevent pollution and allow free pedestrian movement. So then we can give the answer, and the third part would be mention its significance in determining the legal interpretation, which is a part of your study.
और जो आपका इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ स्टैट्यूट या जीसी जैसी चीजें होती हैं, जनरली इसमें आपके ना कॉमन चीजों को लेके ही आपके अंडरस्टैंडिंग को पूछा जाएगा, या तो आपको उन लॉ में से रेफर किया जाएगा जो ऑलरेडी विच इज फॉर्मिंग द पार्ट ऑफ योर स्टडी मटेरियल, which you are already have gone through it while reading of your syllabus or your studies, and or certain kind of common or general statement which you are coming across in your day-to-day life. Whether the example is this question number C, no vehicles are allowed in the park. This is a very common statement every time you have seen. And somewhere you have written that the dogs are not allowed at various places, or pets are not allowed, or animals are not allowed. So there are these kind of some things are given in order to just see how much you are being matlab, having a hold on this understanding of legal principle or the usage of the interpretation of statutes.
Okay, so I think you must have understood it. Any confusion, then you can let us know. This Mridul is again asking that, ma'am, there are also certain topics like transactions not considered as deposits, causes for which CSR activities can be focused on, etc., which has several points. How do we ascertain how many points need to be stated in these cases, and whether there are any important points that need to be necessarily included in the answer? Generally, if such question is asked, supposedly they are asking that what all transactions are not considered as deposit. If you see, I think there are at least 14 points in that. Okay, so for a 5 marks or 6 marks question, they will not be expecting you to write all those 14
all the points. Yes,
somewhere 5 marks question, maximum 6 or 7, and that is up to you that how many do you write.
और important points जैसे वो पूछे, तो देखो कुछ चीजें तो you tend to understand कि which are the important things that definitely you need to mention over there. वो आप जब पढ़ते हैं लॉ तो पता चल जाता है. बट यस, अगर बोला है कि ओनली मेंशन आपको किसी में जैसे 14 पॉइंट्स है तो यू कैन मेंशन एनी ऑफ द पॉइंट्स. इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स यू कैन जस्ट बाय एट योर ओन, जस्ट बाय यूजिंग योर रीजनेबल. हाँ,
और अगर उन्होंने सिर्फ आपको लिखने के लिए
बिल्कुल.
बोला है तो उसमें इतना वो नहीं करेंगे कि आपको डिफिकल्ट पॉइंट्स
हाँ,
लिखोगे तो
ऐसे
ज्यादा
जनरली
मार्क्स
ऐसा
मिलेंगे,
होता नहीं
ऐसा
है.
नहीं
हाँ,
होगा
या
आप
फिर
लोगों
आपको
के लिए।
स्पेसिफिक रेफरेंस देके अगर किसी चीज पे कुछ पूछा गया है तो देयर यू कैन अकॉर्डिंगली मेंशन दोस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट्स. अगर उसमें 14 पॉइंट्स और पर्टिकुलरली किसी स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स को टच करता हुआ कोई पॉइंट पूछा है, देन यू नीड टू डिस्क्लोज दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट ओवर इन योर आंसर.
So I think students, if there is any more query, then do let us know. And if you're not asking, either things are very clear to you or they're not clear to you at all. Thank you, Mridul. So with this, we have come to the end of our session as we are not getting any more queries. And attend your paper with full, cool, and calm mind. Take full rest. Have good food.
Yes.
Stay happy. Stay calm. And do a bit of exercise. Be mentally aware. Be happy. because these exams are important for you to succeed in life, but they are not your life. आप पास करोगे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बट अपनी हेल्थ के कॉस्ट पे, अपनी मेंटल पीस की कॉस्ट पे आप ये चीज मत करिएगा. अपनी प्रिपरेशन एंड रिवीजन, क्योंकि अब तो आप रिवीजन स्टेज पे हैं, रिवीजन इतनी स्ट्रांग रखिए आप कि आप लोगों को कोई प्रॉब्लम ही ना हो पेपर अटेम्प्ट करने में. जब मेरी प्रिपरेशन बहुत अच्छी होगी तो मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी पेपर को अटेम्प्ट करने में, और मैं ऑलरेडी अपने अंदर कूल एंड काम रहूंगी. So that ways you just need to revise and more revise. Rest, कुछ काम भगवान भी करते हैं रिजल्ट में. So वो आपकी मेहनत भी देखते हैं, वो सब कुछ देखते हैं. Just stay true to yourself.
और दूसरी चीज ये है कि अब आपका जो एग्जाम्स पे ज्यादा दिन बचे नहीं है, जस्ट अबाउट हार्डली 27 और 28 डेज आर बीइंग लेफ्ट. तो अपना टाइम शेड्यूल बना लीजिए, क्योंकि टाइम मैनेजमेंट प्लेड अ वेरी क्रूशियल रोल ओवर हियर, बिकॉज नो मोर days are left with you, so many days are left with you. तो accordingly just plan out so that इस समय आपका एक एक दिन वैल्यू रखता है, एक एक कहते हैं ना जितना भी समय. yes, so accordingly plan that you're able to cover the entire syllabus, that all the papers that you're going to appear for this May 25. तो आप उस हिसाब से उसको प्लान आउट कर लीजिए. प्रॉपर रिवीजन का टाइम भी आपको रखना है, so that something is not missed out. तो आप उस हिसाब से बस करते चलिए. और यही है कि थोड़ा जैसा श्रद्धा ने कहा, थोड़ा आप अपने आप को बीच में रिज्यूनेट भी करते रहिए. इफ पॉसिबल यू हैव गॉट सम गुड फ्रेंड्स, so you can talk to your friends for a while, or in the evening time you can take a walk for half an hour. इतना तो आप कर सकते हैं.
Listen to music.
हाँ, listen to music, whatever the way you can refresh yourself. तो वो थोड़ा सा करिएगा. प्रॉपर नींद लीजिएगा, because
और
that is
अच्छा
also very
खाइएगा.
crucial.
हमारा
Yes,
मन
healthy
कर,
food.
हाँ, हमारा मन जरूर करता है कि हम सिर्फ जंक फूड खा लें, बट होता क्या है कि फिर वो जंक अपने अंदर ही जाता है, और एग्जाम टाइम में आपको बीमार नहीं पड़ना है. तो अच्छे से अच्छा खाएं, अच्छे से रहें, और अच्छे से
बिल्कुल.
अच्छा
और
पेपर
पॉजिटिव
दें.
माइंडसेट रखिएगा कि यस यू विल बी एबल टू सक्सीड. ऐसा कुछ नहीं, अपने
Yes.
पर विश्वास रखिए, क्योंकि आप जो पढ़ रहे हैं ऑफ कोर्स वो आपके काम आएगा. बस ये है कि यस, प्रॉपर प्लानिंग और स्ट्रेटेजी अगर आप डिफाइन करके चलेंगे तो डेफिनेटली यू विल नियर टू द सक्सेस, व्हाटएवर यू आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर, तो दैट विल बी देयर. तो आप उस हिसाब से करिएगा. और बस एक लाइन बोलूंगी मैं एज यूजुअल, बिकॉज आई लव टू speak something before my students, because I know our student appreciate a lot कि yes कि चलो मैम दो inspirational lines बोल के जाती हैं. So this is again a famous that dialogue from did I said this line, दिल चाहता है का dialogue, I have said it? No. Yes, these are the lines कि that life should be great, not long. मतलब जिंदगी बड़ी होनी चाहिए, लंबी नहीं. तो बड़ी मतलब ग्रेट होनी चाहिए. तो उसके लिए क्या होगा, यू रिक्वायर टू हैव सर्टेन रूल्स एंड प्रिंसिपल्स. आप करिए एक थोड़ा सा कुछ डिसिप्लिन. हाँ, डिसिप्लिन को फॉलो करके चलिए तो डेफिनेटली
कंसिस्टेंसी इज द की
the-
राइट नाउ.
yes, and this
अगर
could only
आपने
be
2 दिन बहुत अच्छे से कर लिए, 15 दिन बहुत अच्छे से कर लिया, और आपने 10 दिन उसको छोड़ दिया,
तो बस सब वेस्ट है.
सब वेस्ट हो जाएगा. सो कंसिस्टेंसी एंड रेजिलियंस, द ज़ेनज़ी वर्ड्स. So you have to follow both of these, and you will definitely succeed and come out with flying colors.
Yes, so with this we would like to end our session and wish you all the best, dear students.
All the best. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.